Well, thank you. Thank you very much to State Senator Donnie Trotter, who is going to facilitate and has been facilitating the evening, to the other co-chairs of this tremendous event, to the president of the DuSable Museum of African American History, all of those who have come, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Every time I walk inside the door of this institution, I am electronically charged, remembering the relationship and the work of Dr. Margaret Burris, her husband, and all of those who laid the foundation for the creation of this institution. And so I get excited when I think of the tremendous impact that State Senator Emil Jones had when he was president of the Illinois Senate, in terms of being able to bring greatly needed resources to the institution. And then to be here this evening with all of you to celebrate the life of Prince Asiel Ben Israel, his wonderful wife, the First Lady of the Hebrew Israelite nation, to be with the new Counselor General of the Midwest for the state of Israel, and to be with all of you. It's a great way to celebrate African American History Month. But it's also a great way to look at the relationship that has existed. I smiled when I thought of the Shiloh Institute, because I just had a communique from a young lady at the Shiloh Baptist Church in Joliet, Illinois. And so anybody who thinks that there may not be a relationship, I remember as a child growing up with the idea that there was a serious connection between Black people, Negroes as we were being called at the time, colored people, and Jewish people, and the nation of Israel. And as they taught me how to read, they taught me something about a fellow named Ralph Bunch, a Black guy who actually was very instrumental in drawing the lines, carving up the territory, and deciding what was going to be the state of Israel and what was going to be the Palestinian nations in the area and around it. So this nexus, this connection, has been since the beginning. In the beginning was the Word. And I get a chance to come and listen to the eloquence of one of the most eloquent theologians that I've ever heard, Reverend Al Sampson, give an invocation that you would hope would last into the benediction. But that's traditional Al Sampson. To give tribute to Prince Asiel Ben Israel, it has been my good fortune to travel all over the world with Prince. I think we've been to Africa at least 10 or 12 times. We've been to South Africa, we've been to East Africa, we've been to North Africa, we've been to West Africa. As a matter of fact, we went to the Cameroons 3 times. We've traveled to Israel. I've experienced Dimona and wonder how in the world that this group of Blacks from Chicago and other places in the United States of America managed to get to Dimona, Israel, and establish a settlement and to be described in the Journal of American Medicine, JAMA, as one of the healthiest group of individuals in Western civilization because of their diet. I was so glad one time when I left Israel with Prince, I said, let me and get back so I can get me some hot water cornbread. Because all they was, they just wasn't into that. They was into what they were into. But to see the individuals there serve as educational consultants to the Israeli Department of Education.
Yes, sir.
I come from a proud generation of folks. I grew up chopping cotton, went to a one-room school, had one teacher who taught 8 grades plus the little primer and the big primer, all by herself. My folks were sharecroppers. Let me tell you, they shared a lot of knowledge and a lot of understanding and a lot of hope and a lot of possibility to connect with Prince and his family. I tell you, some of the brightest people I've ever talked to. Prince is one of the smartest people I've ever met. Knows more about international relationships than all kind of ambassadors, potentates, and other kind of folks. And I'm amazed just listening. I could listen to Prince for hours at a time. I remember Richard Boykin and I doing some things with him. And so Prince, I'm going to have to run out of here, but I'm not running away from here. I've just got to go someplace else and be someplace else with some other people. But I want you and your family and all of the Hebrew Israelites throughout the nation and throughout the diaspora to know that we revere the work that you've done.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate the relationship you've helped us establish with the nation of Israel. And all I can really say is long live Prince Asiel.
Yes, sir.
And thank you